Hello, listeners. Chad here. Just wanted to give you all a heads up that I tried something a little different with editing this week. I was a lot more lax than I normally am, and it's just something that I'm experimenting with because of how long it takes to edit an episode. So, this one's a little bit more raw than you've heard the last 10 episodes, in that there are slightly longer gaps than I normally would keep, and we're talking over ourselves when trying to get our thoughts out. I really want feedback. Do you want to hear an edit closer to our actual conversations, or would you like something a little bit more polished? Also, I added a bleep because Matt accidentally said his son's name. So listen, enjoy, and let us know what you think.
Happy 4th of July weekend. In honor of Will Smith's summer legacy, we are reviewing Independence Day and maybe the sequel that no one's seen. I don't know. We'll see what we do in this hour. I'm Chad.
And I'm Matt.
And we're back with episode 11 of our podcast. We used to talk about this at work. Yeah, man. Welcome back, Matt.
It's good to be back.
Yeah.
We had a little layoff.
I mean, we already aren't being paid for this, so you know.
Right. You got to take care of your mental health. Take days off when you need to.
Yes. The stress of editing down the racist things that you say every week really got to me, Matt.
Hey, man. Well, I'm glad you rested because I'm going to say a lot of racist stuff on this episode.
I believe you. So, just to, get a little behind the scenes on the show, we haven't actually recorded an episode in 2 weeks. So I have a question for you, Matt. How was your Father's Day?
It was not too bad, just relaxed and everything like that. But Father's Day ain't the same thing as Mother's Day. So I end up cooking on Father's Day. Got a nice little gift from my son and the wife. Just relaxed. How was your Father's Day?
It was nice. A lot happened the week leading up to Father's Day. We had like a very small family get together for my daughter's first birthday. She's finally 1. And I tell you what, it's been a long year. She's a lot, but I love her so much. So as a result, my mother-in-law, she came into town. And so we had my mother-in-law in town and, getting everything together for the birthday celebration. But it was nice. My daughter's daycare had her do like a little hand painting thingy for Father's Day for me. So that was nice. And I also ended up cooking. I cooked a big breakfast because that was the last day my mother-in-law was in town. It was nice. Hung out with my nephews, and they gave me like a shirt that said Funko and some socks, some Nintendo socks. So yeah, it was a really good actual Father's Day, like the day of, and it was a good week leading up to it too.
And that's good. We went to my wife's parents' house because her father was making gyoza.
What's that?
You know what that is?
No.
What is that called in the States? Pot stickers?
Yeah. I know that.
Yeah. So he made those from scratch, and then that's when I cooked steak. But the biggest surprise of the night was because we was drinking and started doing some in-house karaoke. After 15 years of being with the wife, she sung and she can sing. Now people like, you've been together, you never heard her sing before. Well, there's times where she'll be cooking and she'll be like softly singing, or I catch her in the shower, but then whenever she sees me, she stops. But this time was the first time she full blown out loud singing. And I was like, you could be doing this all these years and you never told me. You could have been a J-pop star and everything. That could have been your manager. We could have been out there. We could have been popular. We could have been rich.
I mean, there's still time, right?
I don't know the shelf life of these J-pop stars. She's getting up there in age.
Okay. Um, I mean, I feel like there's an audience for like adults that want to hear nice music, right?
Maybe because she can play instruments. She can play the piano. She can play the violin. She can play the clarinet a little bit. So I'm just like, oh, you multifaceted and you can sing too. We could have been doing something.
You still can, Matt. Just because she's not 14 doesn't mean that you can't exploit your wife's musical talents.
Exactly. And I'd be on that tambourine. We could be the new Ike and Tina, minus the domestic violence.
No,
minus the domestic violence.
Nobody trying to see you up there. Just have her out there.
Nah, you right. We got to keep the illusion like she's single, so
there you go.
Like they could be with her.
Yeah, get her to stop wearing that wedding ring, and yeah, hide your son.
Don't use her last name at all. Just keep her first name in there, and then we're gonna be good to go. We're gonna ride this till the wheels fall off.
Exactly. And yeah. But yeah, record her singing and stitch it to the end of this episode, man.
Hey man, and don't be surprised if next week I'm promoting a new single by my wife. All right.
Catch it on Spotify and Apple Music.
Yep. Great review, all that good stuff.
That's interesting. You are gonna have to find a way to record that though.
Right. I'm just gonna I gotta figure that way. I'm like, don't be shy. The people want to hear this because they think I'm lying now.
No, I meant like just have her sing and like record it without her knowledge.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That would probably be the easier route than trying to convince her to not, be uncomfortable.
Right.
I don't know if Samantha has any hidden talents. None have popped up to my knowledge, but I'll be on the lookout.
Yes. Spy on her while she's taking a shower, see if she's singing.
Oh yeah, you're right. I mean, she does play music when she showers, so maybe, but at this point I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do other stuff now. I don't care. So it's been a couple of weeks since we've gotten together. So what else have you been up to, man?
None much. My son been doing kickboxing, and there's a girl. I don't know her name, but we could call it a sister because it's a brother and a sister that go there. And she's been doing this for 3+ years. And her father is a former kickboxer. I don't know if he did it amateur or professional or whatever. So she's like the best person there. She's 10. And my son, he's 10 too. And I don't want to blame it on being American or whatever, but he's bigger and taller than the rest of the kids there. So he's been doing it for about a month and a half, 2 months. Let me think about it. About 2.5 months. So
the length of this podcast, Matt.
Yes. So whenever he goes against the sister don't show, like when he first started, she knows that his skills was limited. So she would like take it easy on him. But then now that he's starting to get better, start having more power in his punches and kicks and everything, now she be letting him have it. So last week they went at it. He was getting rocked with kicks in his stomach and everything else like that. And I was like, whew. And I wanted to stop, but then, he's got to tough it out. We'll address where he could have done better later on. So right after that, the sister went and did another kid. And I guess that adrenaline was still up in her, that anger, whatever you want to call it. This person only been there for like 2 weeks.
Oh no.
So right. And she was just rocking this person, made him cry, right? And I was like, damn. And it was so bad. Like I'm watching this and I'm like, I felt like boxing. I'm like, throw in the damn towel. Why nobody stopping this? So then it got to a point where even like the sister's mother had to be like, slow it down, stop. Because she was it was like, imagine like me right now with no experience going in against a sensei who's been doing this for whatever, and he going 100% at me. And it was like nothing he could do. And I'm like, somebody need to stop this. I feel bad for that girl that she was going against.
And yet you just still watching it like with your popcorn, like, well, I mean, somebody should stop this, but
No,
Perform.
Normally it's like that because it'd be like a good match, but this was like a one-sided thing, and again, I felt bad for that person, that little girl, and I'm like that they Sensei shouldn't have put her in that situation. So fast forward to yesterday where we went. The Sensei's lining up, and then before that, because normally she just has her gloves on and everything else like that.
Okay.
But this time she puts her mouth guard in and she puts her headgear on. And I looked at another father that was next to me. I said, "Oh shit," because now she came to play today. She didn't come to play. She came to put in that work because she got her stuff on too. Normally she just got the gloves on, but now she has her mouthpiece, her headgear, and I'm like, "Oh shit." So then I'm in my head, I'm like, "Please don't put on with my son." And so then he puts it with my son. So now I told my son last time, like, "You're bigger and stronger than she is. So you need to just go out, use your power, do whatever." But then she kept hitting him with the kicks last time. So I was like, this time. So when I saw she had her headgear on and she paired up with my son, I went up to him. I was like, "Hey man, you don't have to be aggressive this time. Just we'll wait for your spots. This and that. Don't be too aggressive. All right." He was like, "All right." She went in there from jump, started rocking him, like hitting his head, like he was all covered up. He couldn't do nothing. And I was like this, like, I'm concerned. I'm yelling at him. I'm like, "Block, kick, do whatever," like this. And she's like punching him in his face, whatever. His headgear gets all crazy and everything else like that. And I'm just like, but he didn't cry. I could tell he was hurt. Like physically, he was hurt.
Yes.
But I'm like, "You did good, this, and that." I was like, "All right, cool. You did it." And he was like, I'm like, "What's wrong?" He was like, "I don't want to do this."
Like he
And I'm like,
wants to quit. He wants to quit kickboxing.
I was like, "You don't want to do what?" He was like, "I don't want to keep getting hit." And I was like, nobody wants to get hit. That's why you got to block and everything else like that. So now she went against her brother. Her brother is like 2 or 3 years younger than her. So, but he's one of the good ones. She said, "I don't care about blood. we came here to fight." And she was rocking him too. And then, because my son was going to get somebody littler, so I wasn't really paying attention to him. But then I was watching her, because whenever she goes in there, it's just crazy. So she was going there, rocking her brother, punched him, and then the last blow was a hook to the face. He fell through the bottom ropes and started crying. And I was like, yikes. And he quit. He didn't do nothing else after that. He was out crying and everything. And she has no compassion. It's not like afterwards she'd be like, "Are you okay or nothing?" She's like, "Next one."
Jeez.
Oh, I forgot the point of this is the reason why my son went against her first is because Sensei was trying to put other people with her and nobody wanted to go against her.
So your son volunteered?
Well, my son don't speak Japanese, so he was like, "Line up right here." So he's like, "Okay." And plus my son is not scared of her.
But she put that work in. She's been consistently putting that work in.
100%. She has. She's been putting that work in on everybody. But my son, he's not scared to get in there, but it's just once he's in there, he's like, yeah, those 3 years versus my 2 months is a big difference. But like whenever we go there, I'm looking for who is a sister gonna make cry today. And I start thinking about CTE too. The way the girl the last week was getting rocked by those punches. I'm like, can kids get CTE?
I don't see why not.
Right.
I think that's a human thing.
Because the way she was getting hit in her head, it was like I was gonna throw the towel at myself, and that's not even my kid. That's how bad she was. And not the funny thing, but the Sensei don't be like caring at all. Like, well, he does care because this time when she was whooping my son ass, the Sensei was like, and he was trying to pull him away. And he was telling how to block and everything, but then she kept going forward, and I was like, "This, fuck, I don't even know how to," because I'm like, it's easy for me to be like, "Oh yeah, just block or kick." But when you get that fury of kicks and punches,
and
I don't even know what I'll do.
Discombobulated and stuff.
Right. And you just got to get away. We'll see how it goes. I mean, he does this twice a week. And
how is he? Like, can he count to 10? Like, has he been sleeping a little too long? Like, how is the young man?
Yeah, no, he good. We was driving away. He was like, "Daddy, my face hurts." And I was like, "I bet it does. I bet it does." So, but then once we got home, I was like, all right, we'll get some McDonald's. So we got some McDonald's.
What did he order?
A double quarter pounder with cheese.
Hmm.
So then we got that. He came home, made it, and he was like, I'm about to go lay down. And I was like, nah, you need to stay up, man. I was like, just you can lay down, just gonna go to sleep, just in case, in case of concussion or so.
Yeah.
So I was like, but then he's good. He good now. So yeah, it was just yikes.
Yeah, just make sure his pupil's not dilated, but
Nah, yeah, he good. He just at least I know he could take an ass whooping though. I don't know. I guess that's good. They finally opened up out in Japan. They finally opened up the bars and the clubs now. So officially, we can do anything and everything. We have no restrictions now.
Okay. So have you done anything? Well, actually, let's roll back. So right now it is Saturday in America. When did this happen for you?
Thursday.
Okay. So I guess that's kind of a small window to ask, did you do anything yet?
Oh no, I went out. Well, I wanted to go out. Because I know people went out the day that they announced that people went out to the bars and clubs and everything.
Everything was crowded.
Well, I don't know. And plus, it's been a year and a half of we couldn't do this. So a lot of places was closed down. So I was like, I want to go on Friday because I want to see how these people going to act. They haven't been able to do this in over a year. So I know they're about to lose their mind out here. So plus I'm in this Facebook group with spouses and stuff. And let you know that we only got one ship here.
Well, that's not clear. I know what you mean, but what do you mean by a Facebook group with spouses?
So there's Facebook group for the spouses, the military spouses of the sailors and people that's here in Japan. So we only got one ship here. That means all the other ships are out to sea. All of these spouses talking about, oh, I need a babysitter, this, and that. They trying to get, as a kid say, they trying to get lit out here, trying to get loose. So I wanted to be out there to see what was going on. But the problem with that is, since the ships are gone, my friends are gone. So I didn't have nobody to go out with.
You want to go out with your wife?
No, she had to work.
Yeah.
So basically, we just went out to a restaurant, ate, but then we walked around. I just wanted to see what was open, what spots were closed or open. And there was a lot of people out there. So it seemed like everybody had a good time. But yeah, so we are good to go where we're at in Japan as far as there's no restrictions and stuff like that. But I know in other areas like Tokyo or Roppongi area, they still have some restrictions and stuff like that.
So are you going to be hitting the movie theaters?
Yes, that's what I want to, is we can finally start go to movie theaters now. So I know they got the Fast 9 and that, whatever's available.
And other movies, yes.
Yes, and other movies. I just know that that's out right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I really want to, so eventually, probably next weekend during the holiday week, we might venture out and do something.
Nah, snap, Matt. You going to have a report for us? A brand spanking new movie that's not streaming somewhere? You about to do an independent review?
Mm-hmm. But it's gonna be with subtitles because we out here in Japan doing it, so it's gonna be good.
You're doing more than me. Like, I feel weird about going to the theater, but also it's like I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do with my kid. Like if we go to the theater,
right? That's true. I guess because I'm not really worried about it because
your son's a lot older than my daughter, so
right, but he can't sit through movies for
some
reason. He just doesn't want to. Like the only time if we go to a movie theater, then he has to sit. But if I ever try to watch a movie at home, even on Netflix,
that's different though.
Oh yeah, but like in a movie theater because he has to. But at home, he will not sit through. He might watch like the first half, then want to dip off and do some other stuff, or he'll come back. So
have you ever? You sit down and watch a movie, ever just watch the movie straight through, then pause, not even to go to the bathroom? We have a different mentality when we're at home.
Right, because it's more I can go without pausing or bathroom. It's more if there's a slow spot, I might pick up my phone and look at something real quick while it's slow. But yeah, where in a movie theater you're forced to.
Well,
pay attention.
you
I guess you
should.
could.
You
Right.
should.
I've like in a movie theater, I'm just watching. I'm not looking at my phone, but at home, yeah, I'm picking up my phone, see what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I hate it when I have to go to the bathroom at the movie theater because I'm like, I spent all this money. I want to
And now
see
you about
this.
to miss a part.
Right.
Just yell up, hey, can you pause this real quick? I'll be
Right.
right back.
Projectionist. I know you back there. All right. Well, that'll be really interesting hearing you out on these streets, Matt, in the coming weeks, coming episodes. So I have been playing a lot of video games, and none of them are Kingdom Hearts. Just so you know.
Well, you got off that train.
I don't want to say I'm off the Kingdom Hearts train, but it's real hard to make myself play those games when I'm like, this is 2004 gameplay. This is too slow.
Oh.
So I played not the most recent Ratchet and Clank because that came out like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but the one that came out before that. It was like free on PlayStation Network a couple of months ago. So I played that. Apparently it's a remake of the first one. Play that on PS4. It's pretty fun. Like it's a good game to like just shoot around in and just have a podcast or something going. So that was nice. And then I played this other game called Golf. Oh, sorry. I'll get to that last. This game called Overboard, and it's kind of like did you play any of those like old point and click games like Secret of Monkey Island or Sam and Max?
No, familiar.
Where it's basically so the specific scenario for this game is it's the 1930s, you're on a cruise ship, the game opens and you push your husband overboard. And you're like 7 hours away from getting to New York and just disappearing. So each action you take takes up time. So let's say, so the game opens up and you're in your cabin. And let's say you get out of bed and go to the bathroom. That adds like maybe 2 minutes to the timer. Like, because you count down till when you can just get off the boat. And so the object is to make sure that you frame somebody else for the murder of your husband. So like possibly plant evidence or coerce somebody to like go with your whatever you decide the story is of what happened.
You said time is taken off because you got to go to the bathroom. What if you don't go to the bathroom? Is it like Sims where they'll pee on themselves?
No. So you're not going to the bathroom to pee. Like you go into the bathroom because there's actually some sleeping pills in the bathroom. So like you're going at different areas to look at stuff. So there's sleeping pills in the bathroom. So if you don't take the sleeping pills out of the bathroom, when it gets to the end of the scenario, then somebody would have gone through your room because they know eventually they're going to find out your husband's missing and they're going to see the sleeping pills. And so they're going to think that you sedated him and pushed him overboard. So like the game takes like 30 minutes to play. And so like the point is to keep playing it till you actually get the right sequence of events down.
So the first time you played it, did you get away?
Hell no.
The murder?
Fuck no. Like they saw right through my little eyes and I went straight to jail. And the second time I got the captain of the ship, because since he's the captain, he's like looking over everything and he saw me push her over. So I got him to come to my room and I had sex with him so he'd be cool. And then I framed this other girl on the ship. But that still wasn't right because somebody blackmailed me. Like it ended like with somebody sending me a note saying, I know what you did.
So basically, you need to kill everybody on that boat.
You can kill you can kill other people, yes, but you can't kill everybody.
No loose ends.
That's right. And the last game I played is called Golf Story, which is basically like an RPG, but instead of battling, you play golf. So it's like the graphics are kind of like Game Boy-ish. So it's like nothing too like crazy looking, but it was a lot of fun. Our guest this week just joined us, Dominique. Hello, miss.
Hello, sirs. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. So it has been a minute since I've spoken to you. Dominique is another person that we used to work with, and we used to talk about a lot of stuff with at work. Um, a few weeks back, we had Lindsay on the show, and she is like the first person that sat across from me when I trained people, and I think you were like the second person that sat across from me. So yeah, we kind of got kind of close, but yeah. Do you have any fun anecdotes from when we worked together back in the day?
First of all, Chad,
Yes, miss.
people think you're smug. I don't. You just have a dry sense of humor.
Okay, where are we going with this?
Anecdotes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You got to get to know you to understand. Shut up, Matthew. Shut up, Matthew. He acts. I'll just tell him. But anyway, however, it's always you got to do better, Dominique. You got to do better. I don't want to do better, Chad. I want to do it this way.
Yeah, I mean that was like my main catchphrase, do better. Haven't thought about a lot of that stuff in some time. I haven't.
Oh, really? You're just brand new?
No, like I haven't trained anybody in years now. Since I left.
It's not years.
When did I leave?
Okay, so Rona doesn't count. That was default. We're just gonna act like that was some Infinity Stone type Thanos snap your finger stuff.
Okay. So we're all back now. We all lost 5 years. Okay.
Yeah.
We can't go to the bank for a loan.
Right.
So I left in April of 2019.
That was 2019? Okay, yeah, because then Rona hit. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
okay.
So like I've just been a regular worker bee the last few years, and so I really haven't do better, because why would I tell myself that? Like, of course I'm doing better, you know.
You don't need to motivate yourself like that.
No. That's not how this works. I don't. In my head, there's no motivation. It's just a lot of sadness, you know.
So Matt, how long have you been gone?
I left 5 months after Chad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I left in August of 2018.
Y'all those people that be like, oh, how old is your baby? Oh, he's 17 months and two weeks and 4 days and 36 hours. And I'll be like, motherfucker, just a year and a half.
I always exaggerate my son. They'd be like, how old is he? 10 or 11. Somewhere around there.
I thought you were gonna say, oh yeah, you know, about 1,500 months, you know. But no, so what you been up to, lady?
Just booked a flight to Vegas. We're gonna be out there for about a week. Okay. And I'm gonna fly into Vegas. Then I'm gonna take a 2-hour drive and hit Cali to see my son play football, high school.
Okay.
Wide receiver, junior, varsity. Not junior varsity. He's a junior and he's playing varsity.
I appreciate those pauses between each words too.
And then I'll head back to Vegas after the game on that Friday. And my daughter turns 21.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to do the whole Vegas thing since she's turning 21. That's what she wanted to do for her 21st birthday. So Vegas it is. She said she didn't have time for any flaky friends. She know that her mama most definitely would go. That's a solidified person that will be there. But she was like, I know my mama will book a flight. So
I also know my mother would pay for a lot of things. So yes, mom, come with.
No, I didn't pay for her ticket.
Oh, dang, all right.
But yeah, we'll hit Vegas. Oh yeah, and I do have a Cancun trip coming.
Uh-oh. Is that this year?
Yep.
Okay.
That's for my birthday in August.
All right. Well, Matt and I look forward to those pictures on Facebook. All right. So you guys ready to hit this movie? We got 2 movies to hit. Matt has seen like a third of the first movie or the second movie. So it's gonna be you and me kind of driving on the sequel here. But y'all ready to do this?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. So this week our first movie we're discussing is Independence Day.
Today, you will once again be fighting for our freedom. To the man! Not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. The 4th of July will be known as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Oh, what are you shooting at? Come on, come on. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
Something you want to add to this briefing, Captain Hiller?
No, sir. Just a little anxious to get up there and whoop E.T.'s ass, that's all.
The aliens are coming and their goal is to invade and destroy Earth. Fighting superior technology, mankind's best weapon is the will to survive. So, funny enough, the day that this episode is going live, July 3rd, 2021, is the 25th anniversary of the release of this movie. So, my question to you two is, what do you remember about this movie before you actually saw it? Before you rewatched it?
First thing that comes to mind is I always remember like Vivica Fox being a stripper.
Yeah, tits and ass for you. Russell K.
Randy Quaid.
Yeah, the drunk daddy. That up yours.
I mean, welcome to Earth,
Mm-hmm.
Classic line.
Yep.
I remember like the first time I saw this, like not vividly, but we rented the movie. I'm assuming it came out on VHS. Like this movie came out in 1996. So I'm assuming it came out on VHS like around the same time, 1997. I just remember like it's a holiday weekend, or maybe it was just because it was summertime and every day feels like holiday time in the summertime. And watching the movie in our living room, and my mom's there and my grandparents there, and everybody's there just watching it. And I'm like, man, this is so damn cool. And yeah, like the blowing up of the White House, and like, oh, those people on the building, like with the signs and stuff, them blowing up too.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing but iconic scenes. But all right, so those are our memories. So does this movie hold up to your memories?
Yeah.
After the
Yeah.
rewatch? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll rewatch it whenever I see it on TV sometime.
Okay.
Yeah. It's something like, yeah, it holds up because it's good. Like there are slow parts in it,
Mhm.
but overall, it's a good movie.
Yeah, I agree.
I third. So I have a question because we didn't really get into it, but both of you are veterans. So around holiday time in the movie, they said that like half of the armed forces was on leave. Do they let like a lot of people off on leave like around the holidays? Like, how does that work?
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm thinking about. Let me think about it. When you're stateside, it's different versus when you're overseas.
Okay.
Right. That right there.
So
Exactly.
when you're overseas, no, you don't get shit off. You might. I take that back. Some holidays, maybe if like you might be able to get, if a holiday comes through, you might be able to get that like Friday or Monday off. But it's rare that happens. Stateside, then yeah, because it's kind of like you're working a regular job there. So most likely stateside, yes. Overseas, sometimes.
Okay.
What he said, and it depends on if when you're overseas, if it's a conflict. If you're like with me when I was in Iraq, the holidays would hit, people were still rolling and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, and to clarify, Matt's Navy, I'm Army.
Okay. Well, yes, for the listeners. So like when they said like when the aliens came and they were like, half of our soldiers are on leave, that jumped out at me because I was like, I wonder if that's accurate.
Yeah, stateside, because they were stateside. That they hit on U.S. soil, well, on ground. So stateside, like Matthew said, it's 4th of July weekend, so everybody has leave or passes, gone home or wherever, to granny's house or something. So yeah, half the people on leave, and then you got those few stragglers that stay back. That's probably like the staff duty people and stuff. And then when it's time to recall, it just all depends.
Okay. Another thing that kind of jumped out at me, and this is just looking at the movie from like a 2021 lens, is that the aliens were hovering over the different sites, and the president's like, "All right, people, please stay in your homes." And what do people do? They just out in these streets. And I'm like, some things never change.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And just like those people on the building and stuff, it used to be, if aliens come, people be like, they're coming to kill us type of thing. We're all against them. Or the country, the world is going to band together type of thing. But with 2021 lenses, you want to have those people like they're our friends and stuff like that, just like how those people standing on the building was waiting for them to come.
I mean, but there was like, it showed perspectives from all ends though. Like some people were panicking and like packing up and running out. And on the newscast, they were saying, "People, please stop shooting at the alien crafts." And
Yep,
then there's
they did.
people out there with their signs and stuff. So it's like,
where was it said? Where's he at?
Who?
Will Smith.
He's in California.
Okay, that's Florida all day. that's like some Florida stuff. Stop shooting at the aliens.
I feel like it was consistent. So it's like people was out here on some ridiculous stuff in 1996, just like they were on 2021. Only other thing that could have been added is if they had some people like interviewing on the news saying they're here to destroy us and we should be destroyed. Like that's the only thing that was missing.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know, like this is genuinely like one of my favorite movies. Like I'm just watching it and it's just like there's so little of this movie that I don't remember, and I probably haven't seen this movie in like 15 years,
Mm-hmm.
So like just watching it so much, and it's like you're jumping across to like all these different characters, and you're like, yeah, I'm connecting with all of these guys, and even that sniveling dude in the president's cabinet, the one that we all hate.
The silver hair about the short silver hair dude that was like, we shouldn't do this, or we should do this now. Da da da. Him, and then when it was time to pray, he was sitting over there with the little kids holding hands to pray, and he was like, "I'm not Jewish." He was like, "It's okay."
Yeah, it's like I always hated him, but like as an
in
adult,
every
I'm like,
movie he play in.
I always hated this character, but like in this one, I was like, I could kind of see where he's coming from. Like, I'm not saying he was right, but I could kind of see where he was coming from, like I don't fully agree with the president not knowing about like aliens and stuff, because like I feel like you get sworn in as president, like some people come in and they're like, okay, here's the deal, there's aliens and stuff, there's all this other messed up stuff, and then that's how presidents age so quickly, right? So I just found, I'm like, you shouldn't be holding that back.
Yeah, I felt like that was something that he talking about is classified.
That's the
president. Unclassified.
Right.
And I was like, what the hell? Did he just say it's classified? You talking to the president, unclassified. Like who is above your pay grade that's telling you can't tell him?
Right. And it's like aliens have come and you not thinking, we do have some aliens at Area 51. This might be relevant. Like, how do you not connect those dots?
You know what character I forgot all about? Chat.
Who?
Remember at the TV station, and the man was on his phone with his mom. He was like, "Mom, get in the car and head to Aunt."
Yes. Like I was watching that and I was like, whoa, we can't be doing this in 2021. What are we doing here, movie? Like
He was like, "Get in the car and
this
head
is
to
not
Aunt
an
Emma's."
appropriate depiction of gay characters, all right?
Right. He was like, "Get in the car and head to Aunt." I was like,
I don't know. So like overall, we all feel like it kind of holds up.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
definitely holds up.
All right. So I feel like we don't have a lot to say because this is a good movie and we're gonna actually, talk some shit in a minute. But let's hit some trivia facts here. What do you two think the Rotten Tomatoes is of Independence Day?
80, 90.
I'm gonna give it about a 92.
So this was surprising to me. Also, it has a 67. It's still
What?
Really?
It's still fresh, but it has a 67.
Wow.
You got to remember, like they were a little harsher on stuff back in the 90s.
Well, yeah, and then this alien sci-fi futuristic kind of, well, not futuristic in that sense, but
Yeah,
jump ahead a few years.
yeah. It's like now, if this movie came out now, it would probably be rated a little bit higher, just because we're used to it,
Mm-hmm.
So I captured a little data about the box office of this movie. So the budget was $75 million. It had a worldwide gross of $817 million.
I was about to say it topped it. Whatever the budget was, it topped it because when this came out, it was like a super seller.
Yes, it was. So this movie it opened at number 1 in the box office with 50 million, and it beat out Nutty Professor like for the top slot. And the other things that were in the theater were The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Eraser, The Rock, Striptease, Twister, crushed all of them.
The Rock and Striptease in 96.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock, Alcatraz. I mean, Sean Connery.
Yeah,
Sean
and
Connery?
Nick Cage. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it beat Sean Connery.
It did some numbers.
Was this the start of Will Smith being Mr. What they used to call him, Mr. Summer or Mr.
Yeah, I think this is what put him on the.
Yes, this made him a movie star.
Yeah, this made him a movie star. And then he followed up, I think, with like Bad Boys.
Men in Black is somewhere in there too.
Yeah, the first one.
So got a trivia question, and then we're gonna do some trivia dump stuff, and then we'll talk about the sequel that they made for some reason. All right, so the huge hype that the film began generating in early 1996 caused Warner Brothers to postpone the release of Mars Attacks from summer to Christmas, and Steven Spielberg canceled his plans to direct which of the following movies? So, Cowboys and Aliens, which ended up coming out in 2011, War of the Worlds, which came out in 2005, Battlefield Earth, which came out in 2000, or The Day the Earth Stood Still in 2008. Now, I'm not saying that this is a movie that Spielberg ended up directing, but he was going to direct this movie in 1996.
The Day the Earth Stood Still.
No, I want to go with Battleground something, whatever
Battlefield
that was.
Earth?
Yeah.
All right. So the answer is War of the Worlds, and he did direct it.
All right. I don't think I watched that.
It was all right. It had Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning.
Oh, yeah. Because he was her dad, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And that's when
it had that bullshit ending where the son, like he had a son also, and his son did something fucking stupid that he like basically ran towards the aliens, and
the big tall alien things. Okay, I did watch that.
And throughout the whole rest of the movie, you think, oh man, the son's dead, and then he's alive at the end. And I called such bullshit on that.
Yeah. That was stupid because like that's why I vaguely remember you had to start saying something, made me think about it when you said the codependency him. Like the whole time it was just like, yeah, you thinking the son was dead, and then at the end you're like, what the hell? Whatever.
All right, so let me jump through this trivia. So it holds the record for most miniature model work to appear in one film. Model shop supervisor Michael Joyce estimated that more miniatures were used for this film than any other two films combined. Due to the advances in digital technology since this film released, most experts believe this record may never be broken. Because, the White House was a model and all that other stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is the highest grossing movie in 1996. And interestingly enough, and actually, I'm going to read this and then I want to jump back into something else that I thought about while watching the movie. This movie was banned in Lebanon because it included scenes where Israel and Iraqi soldiers joined forces. In the montage where militaries around the world signed on to the U.S. plan to counterattack the alien forces. So I was like, I hear you, like the aliens, kicking everybody ass, and America's got a plan. But like all those other countries, like they getting the word out, like, oh man, America's got a plan. It's about time the Americans came to save our asses. I was like, nah, man. Even in 1996, people weren't fucking feeling America.
No, not at all.
But America is always the one that comes in to help save everybody. So I mean, I get it, but it wasn't all happy-go-lucky like how they portrayed it. But yeah, because we always going to fight somebody's damn battle.
But they don't always ask for the help.
I know. Trust me, I was there.
So before we jump to the bullshit sequel, what would you have liked to have seen from a sequel? Like, let's not talk about what we've seen in the sequel, but just going off of you've just seen the first one and you're like, I need some more Independence Day in my life.
Okay, so then, it's the rebuild after everything, of course, was obliterated in the first one. They rebuild the country, White House gets back built up and everything. Like Will Smith should have been somewhere in the sequel as
No, stop. Don't acknowledge the sequel. Just
okay.
What would you like?
We want to see what goes on after. I wanted to know what happened. Like with scientist dude. I can't think of his name right now. Who cracked the code?
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, him. Like did they get awards? Did they get put in charge of something? You know what I'm saying? Did they make a whole? Like. Go in. They could have went more into what happened after.
Where would the conflict be then?
What would be the conflict?
If this is a sequel that you would like to see. This is a part 2.
You gotta clean up the aftermath. Because it might be some straggler aliens. Yeah, we figured out how to destroy them, but you got to think about the ones that came down, that little individuals that was pew pew pew. And
okay, I'm with you, Matt. What would your sequel be?
I wouldn't have one.
Okay.
To me, this seems like open and shut case. And it felt like, because there was never once before this I was like, you know what, they need Independence Day 2.
Right.
But if I had to do one, then it would kind of be just like any other sequel to a thing, or a new threat. But I don't think I would do an Aliens, because Independence Day was done pretty well for 4th of July, Independence Day type of thing. So just create a new threat, whether it be terrorist or something. My theme wouldn't be aliens. We've done that. My theme will be Independence Day, where it's threatening the U.S. around Independence Day. So I would just make a new threat centered around that time.
What? So like it would be people?
Yeah.
People?
I wouldn't sit. My franchise would not be based around just aliens.
Okay, but that's what people came to see, right?
No, that's what
Because
they
when you
came to
say
see.
Independence
That's
Day, they're
that's
gonna
what they
think
no,
aliens.
because that's based off the first one. But then if they're coming to see, the characters I put in that movie, now they seen how we got rid of one threat. Now I will have these same characters in the next movie dealing with another threat.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I
Kind of
can
like
follow that.
kind of like Fast and the Furious franchise, where it's just the same shit, same people, just a different threat.
So you're saying it's not aliens, they're fighting people.
Yeah. Terrorist. I don't know.
Whatever. He just said a different type of threat. It
Right.
doesn't have to be aliens. It could just be terrorists, or it could be sea creatures or something.
Right. Cyborgs. It's just got to be another threat versus aliens.
Okay.
Because when you do aliens, you can only do so much unless, because you've already set the standard of what quote unquote aliens look like for your franchise and what they can do. So unless you've already had this pre-planned out about you're going to do this one on this movie, this one on this movie, once you put this out, you're like, all right, I want to do another one again, then you're going to have to come up with something.
I get what you're saying, because it gets boring, the same old thing.
Right.
Well, I'm boring because in my dream sequel, the aliens, they just send the second wave, and we got to go back up and finish the fight, and we get some Will Smith one-liners.
Wasn't that the same movie you just watched the first time?
That's what the people want, man.
Is that what they wanted? And so people like you is the reason why we got the second one.
Right.
Not really, because I just said Will Smith one-liners, and was Will Smith in this sequel? No. So
not on the parts I saw.
All right,
that's why it's trash.
So we're gonna run through Independence Day Resurgence.
Our whole lives built up to this moment.
Make them pay.
Not going up there to make friends. We've got to remind them Earth is not for the taking.
All fighters, evade!
I had years to get us ready.
We're going down!
We never had a chance.
2 decades after the first Independence Day invasion, Earth is faced with a new extrasolar threat. But will mankind's new space defense be enough? The answer is fuck no. This movie was fucking terrible. So Matt had some system issues and he saw like the first third of it, but honestly, you didn't need to see any more than that. Like you could kind of see where it was going.
And honestly speaking, I didn't even rewatch the second one because it was fucking garbage from the first time that I saw it. I mean, like, and then any other time, like, how you clicking through your guide on Direct TV or Charter, and you be like, Independence Day 2 Resurgent, and you be like, oh, fuck. You might turn it on this at the end. You're like, I don't want to watch this from the beginning or some shit. You might watch some pieces here and there. But, like, first of all, my first question was, so 20 years later, that's the little boy from Vivica Fox? Is that son, or did they have a son?
Oh no, like they kept saying your father, but no, that's the stepson.
That's the stepson. Okay, like that's what I was thinking. Like they kept saying your father, and then I'm like, okay, and that's the president's daughter.
Yeah, there is. We're gonna talk about casting a little later, but yeah, and like she's a pilot now too, and she's a pilot only because they needed her to fly the ship at the end of the movie.
Right. And then I'm like, the president's daughter. And then he's still walking around and he like, I see what was gonna happen and all this stuff. And I'm like,
so I guess let's give as much of a rundown on this one as we can. So movie opens up, it's 20 years later. They're about to do like a celebration for the 20th anniversary of the Independence Day War. The War of 96 is what they call it. Mm-hmm. And this is a very different Earth than what we last left. They have co-opted the alien technology into their everyday life. but only sort of. Because I saw that they had like really cool like jets and stuff that can go into space, and they got moon bases and shit, but they driving regular fucking Yukon SUVs and stuff. And like they
Okay, so
got regular iPhones.
I thought that was only me too, because I'm like, okay, so we have the aeronautical technology, but we don't have the ground.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so we're on the same page.
So like already like this world hasn't really been thought out. Like they had the seed of a good idea. Like obviously we have all this alien tech on the planet. We should co-opt it into other things, but they only did it for the things that they wanted to do it on and didn't really think past that. Or maybe they didn't want to spend the money on it. I don't know.
Okay, so this sounds very Donald Trumpish with the Space Force thing.
It makes sense in this universe. Like if you have had an alien invasion, you should have a space force.
But did we really have an alien invasion in our actual reality?
No, I'm not talking about our reality. I'm talking about
in that one, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, when you think about it, when you look at it from a 2021 lens, the 20 lens.
Oh, that's kind of funny because you know that movie came out in 2016 before he was elected, and
prequel to him.
Yeah, that's where he got the idea from. So okay, so it's the 20th anniversary of the invasion. We are following Will Smith's stepson, the president's daughter, all grown up, and then we have a new scrappy white protagonist in the form of Liam Hemsworth, who I'm not sure why this character needs to exist because
I wasn't understanding that either.
Yeah, because it's like I guess we want somebody scrappy to root for, but I don't know, like you know the like I don't feel anything for this character. Like we want to feel bad for him because he couldn't be the squadron leader. They gave it to a black guy who, you know, in this situation, he has connections. We want to be sad that the white guy didn't get the upper hand. Like, what do you want from me as an audience member? I don't get that.
First of all, they followed the two kids from the very first one. So why not have a kid from the sciences dude and the what was she, the assistant?
She was somebody in the kid. Maybe she was press secretary. But like my thing was like, I don't understand why Will Smith's stepson wasn't the romantic lead in this movie. Like, why wasn't he dating the president's daughter? They've known each other since kids. Why do we need this white? Why do we need this white dude in here? You know, that's me. So we learned that the Liam Hemsworth and the president, Will Smith's son, they've got beef because Liam Hemsworth almost kills Will Smith's son trying to be the squadron leader. So they've got beef. And so Liam Hemsworth has the nerve to have a chip on his shoulder against Will Smith's son, but you almost killed him? And this is a character movie wants us to like, right? Right. So he's up in space, you know, being a renegade, you know, somebody that breaks the rules and is again, you know, like thrown in the fucking brig or what's jail called there in the military?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like he doing all this, like
that was the Navy term.
He doing all this.
What do you guys call it?
Fucking jail.
He doing all this shit that should put him in jail. Like you almost kill somebody, especially somebody with as much juice as Will Smith's son, and you're still in the military. What? What? So white privilege is still a thing in 2020 and what in this universe?
So that would have been 2026.
2016.
Okay, yeah, 2016. And in 2016, it was still.
I mean, but this is a different world, right? A black man helped save the world.
Well, you got to think about
female president.
The movie.
Right. Yeah. So
I only was able to watch the beginning of it. But since I only watched the beginning of it, my whole thing that I get getting hung up on, y'all really telling the story that after all this man did in the first movie, The story y'all telling is that Will Smith died in a training accident. This is the story y'all could have said he died in some great battle or war or whatever you want to call it, but he died in a training accident.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't
Oh,
gonna say nothing about that.
Maybe that's why. If his, I guess since I didn't watch it, since his father died in a training accident and the white guy almost killed his son in a training accident, does that play towards anything in the movie?
No.
Then okay.
Movie
Then
couldn't, they weren't willing to meet Will Smith's salary request, and so they was like, well, he died in a shitty way.
Well, then
And
they
then
should
they
have got
get-
Will Smith and took like 4 people off.
Because this was absolute garbage. I mean, they didn't even have Vivica back.
They
didn't
did.
have-
They did. She was in the movie.
She was.
Yeah, she died at the beginning.
Oh, I didn't get. I got to the part where she looked weird having short hair, and then she.
Oh,
called
yeah,
her
yeah,
son-
It looked like she
called her
had some
son.
work done.
You know, she stayed Botoxing. I can't remember in this one because the movie was so garbage. Like I remember
You
bits and
blacked
pieces.
out parts.
Yeah. So they didn't even. Did they mention Russell K kids? They didn't even have
Nope.
none of them in there.
Nope.
Like they didn't have none of the good characters from the first one.
But we did have Jeff Goldblum in Africa. We got that. You must not have seen this part. So basically, in this universe, we had the War of '96, right, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
For 10 years, there have been aliens in Africa doing a ground battle with Africans. The movie opens up like at the big ceremony. They have this big speech about how we're one planet, one goal, like we're all in this together. But you let Africa fight a ground war for 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
A whole lot of political undertones, huh?
They Jeff Goldblum gets an African sidekick in the movie, and he's running around killing aliens with machetes and stuff.
Yep.
It was honestly,
I saw that part where one of the guys asked him, "So I see all those marks on your arm. Means how many aliens you killed? How were you able to do it?" And he was like, "You got to get them from behind." And I was like,
The movie is absolute.
I was like, that was a weird lie.
I honestly, I felt kind of offended, like when the African dude was running around killing aliens with those machetes. I genuinely felt like this feels racist.
I didn't understand what was the purpose of that in the first place, because how do you go from pium pium going to air, nuclear weapons, then you go with a goddamn machete.
Right.
And then you give it to the black people.
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad I didn't watch that part.
But then the black man is the one who flew the spacecraft to the moon to blow up the aliens in the first place, in the first movie. But then you come to the second one and revert back to a machete.
Right. And you give the son of that character in the sequel a secondary role.
Right.
So the plot of this movie, new aliens show up. Now go. Give me the quick synopsis of this movie.
Okay, so
Bullshit.
a second wave comes and they're like, you know what? Fuck y'all. We're about to fuck all this shit up. And you know what? We're about to take the Earth's core energy, like, the lava and shit at the center of the Earth. They want that. And they're saying that that's what they wanted in the first movie. And before like the invasion kicks off, this orb comes out of nowhere and Space Force shoots it down. And the orb that came out of nowhere is from a second alien group that's been fighting the aliens from the 1996 movie in a galaxy far, far away. Even though they said when they hacked the aliens in the first movie, they said this is their whole civilization here, but it was some other ones out in space. So don't worry. They're the orb aliens are here to save us.
So that's the one that they shot.
Yeah.
The one that's what I thought was so stupid too, is where this thing just shows up and you automatically assume it's a threat.
Yeah. I mean, that was the most believable thing in this movie, though.
Right. Well, of course, yeah. But like, even like, yeah. Well, we can go down a political road and not a political road, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff, and you can see that. Oh, they're not doing nothing, but I assume they're a threat, so let's shoot it and find out and ask questions later on. Yeah.
So, like an hour into this movie, I wrote in my notes that this movie doesn't have any heart like the first one. And when I say that, like we had Russell K's family and we learned a little bit about them, right? And we got to kind of know Jeff Goldblum's dynamic and we figured out like what was going on with Will Smith and Vivica Fox, you know? And
and his friend that died.
yeah,
Because in the first one, they gave me the whole Tom Cruise Top Gun vibe. You know,
yes.
Will Smith would have been Tom Cruise, and the other one would have been Duck. Was that his name? Yeah.
You mean Anthony Edwards?
Yeah, the sidekick dude that killed himself.
Yeah. But yeah, like so this movie didn't have any characters that I really cared about. And then
exactly
as I wrote that, that's when they introduced those. So for the characters on the ground, Matt, they introduced these 3 kids who are probably orphans now because their parents went to Florida and Florida's like fucked up. And so they're just they're in a car and they're just trying to drive somewhere. But the problem with that is like we meet them in the middle of their story. Like there's no point at the beginning of the movie where like we meet them when stuff's normal. Like
right, no introduction.
Right. And so we just meet them while they're just driving and like stuff's already been blown up by the aliens and they run into Jeff Goldblum's dad and they help him out and he joins the little crew.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you got all these other characters that either we vaguely remember from the first movie or they're just people made up so that you can kill them, or they're Liam Hemsworth. And it's like there's nobody to really connect with, you know? And these characters are the ones that we should be connecting with, but you didn't introduce them early enough into the movie.
Right. And then it's like basically with this movie, because they didn't have Will Smith, one of the main characters, they had to try to like tie in all these comic relief,
like
subliminal characters.
Everybody was trying to make jokes in the movie.
Yeah, it was like almost like it was supposed to be like, okay, like how they did with Men in Black, you know, like that was kind of more funny alien type movie versus the first Independence Day was more serious and they was trying to make it more, this was more too many jokes and stuff. It was like that they was playing around. It wasn't
right.
There wasn't serious like how in the first one it was all serious. Like the only person was serious was like Michael Keaton, or is that Michael Keaton or whatever the president? Who was the president?
Bill Pullman. Pullman.
Yeah, he was like the only serious person in it, because even Jeff Goldblum's character, and he didn't seem as serious like he was in the first one.
Right.
And then it's like basically this didn't have the plot was there, but it was like too many run-on sentences type.
Yeah, they were just rapid fire.
It was just jokes all over the place. Like it was no consistency.
Yeah.
It was jumpy.
And it's funny that you do mention Bill Pullman. Like he's like mentally unwell because he like did the mind meld with the aliens in the first one, right? And throughout the movie you can tell like he's very unstable. And so at the end of the movie they're gonna have to do another thing where somebody has to basically do a suicide mission. And this is like an actual suicide mission. Like you're not walking away from this one. And so he's got his crazy man beard the whole movie. He shaves his beard off and he's like, I'm sane now. I'm going to do the mission. And they're like, okay.
I mean, why not let the crazy guy go?
But like now, like at that point, he was well again. I'm like, what are we doing here, movie?
I guess because they had to give him, they had to revive him so his character could actually fit in this time. Because in the first one, he was like, I'm a fighter pilot. You know what I'm saying? He like, Mr. President, you can. He was like, I'm a fighter pilot. So even though he's not the president anymore, he like, I'm still that same fighter pilot. I'm saying now. I can go do this. Dun, 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 dun. You know, so I mean, like they had to try to make it. They had to tie something in because it's missing. It has a huge hole. No Will Smith.
I feel like they just used that as a crutch. Like we don't have Will Smith, and so they just threw some stuff at the wall. Like this
Yeah.
could have been fine, but this turned out shit because everybody was a comedian. The story wasn't focused, and
It was a run-on sentence.
yeah.
I mean, because it was jumping from all over the place because you had the side story with the Liam Hemsworth and Will Smith's son beef. Then you had the original plot with the orb aliens that's supposed to be the good guys that got shot down. Now they were thinking it was the bad guys versus the actual bad guys. That's jumpy right there. That's confusion. Then you got the whole love story with Liam Hemsworth and the president's daughter. That's another story. Then you got in comes the 3 kids out of nowhere in the middle of the movie. Then you got Jeff Goldblum over there in some save the world humanitarian Africa is fighting with machetes. We're not fully equipped to handle this shit. 10-year Vietnam War type stuff.
Oh, and then you had the doctor from the first one who we all assumed died.
The crazy dude with the hair.
With the tentacles wrapped around his neck and shit.
Yeah, that he was talking through him because at that point,
So they just bringing random people back and be like, with no explanation.
Yes,
Yeah.
pretty much. But like the people that they should have brought back, they didn't bring back. Like, i.e., Russell K's kids.
Mhm.
You could have even brought back Sniveling Snot. You know what I'm saying? None of the good people that you remember from the first one.
Only Jeff Goldblum, but then they kind of ruined him in this movie.
Yeah, because they just made him like whatever. When his character was so important to the first one, it's like, okay. Like this was just absolute garbage.
Yes. So I guess it would be wasting my breath if I asked if this movie hold up, huh?
No.
We said this at the beginning. It was bullshit.
So
Like sometimes they shouldn't make sequels. When they say you don't make sequels, this was one of those.
I mean, once we talk about that box office, you might be wrong here, Dominique. But
I mean, because it's Independence Day, so everybody thought it was gonna be like the first one.
So
And it was sad. It was a real letdown, sad mistake.
also, this movie had the nerve to end on like a somewhat of a cliffhanger where they're like, you know what, we gotta take the fight to the aliens, and then cut to credits like, we'll see you next time, guys. And it's like, fuck you.
Right, because I will not be going to watch a third.
Like, how dare you think that you're about to get
I
a
don't even
third one
think I'll
after
watch
this?
this shit on Netflix.
I mean, you don't have to worry about that because this was a Fox movie and Disney owns Fox now, and they're not about to waste some. Disney is not in the mode of wasting money on movies that people are not going to see.
True, this is true.
So, what do you two think that the Rotten Tomatoes is on this piece of shit?
It better have been 20.
You said the last one was 60. I don't know.
But also,
30.
you got to remember that the last one came out in the 90s, so the scoring is going to be kind of fucked up because that predates, Rotten Tomatoes.
Right.
And I stick with 30.
You're right, Matt.
30?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because I said 20.
So this movie opened number 2. Finding Dory beat it in its second. Like, Finding Dory was number 1 2 weeks in a row. And like so the second week of Finding Dory, Independence Day 2 came in number 2. Number 3 was Central Intelligence with The Rock and Kevin Hart. The Shallows was number 4, and number 5 was The Conjuring 2.
Well, Finding Dory was in its rightful place with all of those movies.
So funny enough, this movie fell to number 5 in its second week, and it fell to number 8 in its third week. And it
Can believe it.
Did nothing but fall. So on $165 million budget, the worldwide, $165 million budget. In the US, it made 103. Worldwide, 389.
Well, they made their money back from making it.
Well, not in America, and they really
Not
care about that America number.
right. I get that. So yeah, they lost money.
Yeah,
Like
What year did this come out again?
2016.
I'm thinking how much more money they use for this one versus the first one, but I guess it's 10 whatever years apart. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Independence Day 1 made money, like almost $1
I'm
billion
talking about
in
talking about
1990s money.
how much, I'm talking about the budget.
Oh, so
yeah, the
160.
budget was damn near double for the second one versus the first one.
Right.
But also, it's like you gotta think about this, and it's the first thing that I noticed. Like the opening of the second movie was just like nothing but CGI on top of CGI, and back in the day, they didn't have that to fall back on.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, the first one had a budget of 75 million. All right, so here's the trivia question: how many actors reprised their role in this sequel? You don't have to name. You don't have to name the characters. Just provide a number. Price is Right rules do not apply, and I'll give you
5.
I'll give you guys a hint. It's a single digit.
5.
4.
7.
Mm.
You've got Jeff Goldblum. He played David. Judd Hirsch played his dad. Bill Pullman played the president. Brent Spiner played Dr. Oaken, crazy doctor.
Okay.
Vivica A. Fox was back. She was a stripper that was actually paying her way through medical school by stripping. So, there you go. John Story played Dr. Isaacs. That was the guy that visited him in the hospital room. He was in the first movie. He was one of the assistants in the background. And
Whatever.
Then Robert Loggia, he played the general in the first movie. He made an appearance in this one too.
He's the one who got when the president saluted at that ceremony, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was just trying to think like general. Okay, that one. Okay.
Right. So then we're just
all people we didn't remember.
Hey, we remember Jeff Goldblum, all right? All right. So soon after the success of the first film, 20th Century Fox paid the writer a large sum of money to write a sequel script. However, after completing the script, the writer didn't turn the script in and instead gave the money back to the studio as he felt the story didn't live up to the first film. And then 20 years later,
Glad he was honest.
he wrote some bullshit and then took that money.
So this is not the same. Is this the same story?
I don't know if it's the same story, but it's the same writer.
Because he was broke 20 years later.
Right. Yeah, things weren't successful. So it says Will Smith was supposed to reprise the role of Captain Steve Heller, but Fox refused to meet his request for a $50 million salary for 2 sequels. So $25 million a movie.
What the hell? They should have paid him, considering all the money they made off the first one.
I mean, but that's 20 years later. And you got to think, like, in 2016, it's been a minute since Will Smith had a hit.
No.
In 2016?
Well, yeah, I guess. But it's fucking Will Smith, though.
Right. But if you're going to pay Will Smith all that money, his stuff needs to be, like, destroying the box office.
But
now you're right, because I'm looking at his filmography, and he had 2014 Winter's Tale. He had 2015. He had Focus and Concussion.
Who?
2016 Focus and then Concussion.
Concussion was a football movie, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then 2016 he had Suicide Squad. So and looking at those, none of those, and then 2013 was Aftermath. So you're right. There is After Earth. After Earth. So there is a period to where none of those are hits.
Right. So it's like I can see where the studio was coming from, but also I feel like he's read the script for this shit and he was like, I'm gonna need $50 million. And
Right.
like he just let them say no instead of him saying no, I don't want to do this.
You might be right. I think I go with that one right there. He probably read that and was like, hell no, I ain't doing this bullshit.
All right. So the last bit of trivia I have, it is related to another character that could have been in this movie, but isn't, because they give Jeff Goldblum a new love interest in this movie, Matt.
Okay.
So it
I
says
forgot about her.
so it says there is no mention of Constance Spano, David's wife, in the movie. According to the novel Independence Day Crucible, his wife died in a car accident. So I don't know if they couldn't get her back or what. But so in regards to getting some people back, the little girl that played the daughter in the first movie, she was played by Mae Whitman. And she is an actress that is still acting today. Like, have either of you guys seen that show on NBC, Good Girls? It's also on Netflix.
I see commercials for it.
She's
Yeah, I
like
was about to-
she's the little short white girl. Like, she's still acting today. She was on like Arrested Development. She does like a whole bunch of voice acting. Apparently, they didn't even reach out to her to ask her if she wanted to come back. They just recast her with someone quote unquote prettier.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then with the boy that, the little boy that played Will Smith's stepson in the original, he still acts, but like he's not a big name, So he's like in nothing movies, so they didn't even call him either.
Who was the guy that played the son in this one?
Jesse T. Usher. He's on The Boys on Amazon right now.
What is that about? You know?
It's a superhero show. So it's this is a world with superheroes.
Oh, okay.
And he plays like the guy that goes fast. But this is a world where like the superheroes are like horrible people. Like like they've got like the Superman type who is like crazy and like he just kills people if he doesn't want to deal with you.
Oh, okay.
It's a
Oh, he was also Shaft's son and Shaft.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's what I was
Shaft.
trying to think of where he can't. I see him in something else. Shaft's son in with Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, and Richard Roundtree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Independence Day Resurgence was a thing we watched. So as you all's holiday weekend is kicking off, please don't watch that movie. Just watch the first one with Will Smith.
Because they didn't even show Jeff Goldblum smoking a cigar in the second one after everything was done and over with.
Yeah, he just disrespected the victory dance.
Right, he didn't do nothing. Like they didn't do nothing to kind of.
I mean,
give you
Dominique, you're forgetting that Will Smith's stepson said, "Now that's a close encounter." He said that.
Boo!
Oh. He did. Look, I'm like, huh?
It was
like
a throwaway
they
line.
didn't even do no reference. They didn't do like none of the punch stuff from like nowhere near nothing in the second one. Like to even give you a ooh or yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just like he threw this shit together. He probably was sitting by his pool or some shit and just getting high or drinking some Pinot Grigio or something and just wrote some stuff down and was like, well, here got a script.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like he put like 3 different movies together in one.
Yes.
Well,
and
let's take about 6.
None of them were good. Dominique, we're about to wrap things up. Do you have anything you want to plug? You got social media you want to throw out there? You got an Etsy? You work on an Arrival podcast? You got a YouTube channel? You got anything that you want the people out there to check out?
No, I'm cool.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. This was fun and it's nice to reconnect. And thank you, listeners, for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weusedtotalkpod@gmail.com. Like our Facebook page, We Used to Talk About This at Work, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at We Used to Talk Pod. And we will see you guys next week.
And away the news goes.
Bye.